Councillors, in the absence of Councillor Carl, we'll begin the meeting. It's streaming. I'd like to thank you very much for your presence today as we have the Planning and Development Committee meeting. Can I welcome the CEO and the GM from that area and our support staff. Can I begin by acknowledging the Aboriginal parties whose songlines traverse the lands we meet on today, the Western Waka, the Waka, the Gibel and the Jarowair peoples, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the knowledge and the rich traditions as well as the bold ambitions of Australia's first people. We have leave of absence has been granted to Councillor Megan O'Hara-Sullivan. Has anybody else any comments in respect to that? Councillor Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just as far as attendance goes, could I please introduce everyone to Miriam? Miriam's in Year 10. She is on work experience. She has a real passion for the environment, and so they put her on the front line with me for the week. So we spent our day yesterday talking about honey eaters and a lot of other things, but it's great to have Miriam here for the week on work experience. If you see her in the halls, if you could make her feel welcome, please. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Councillor Tim, and welcome, Miriam. We're having committee meetings today. What comes out of these committee meetings will go to next Tuesday's formal meeting for final endorsement or otherwise. Okay, I'll hand over now to our GM. Councillor Shine.
At the previous meeting, I did obtain leave this morning from about 10:15 on. Hopefully it won't be necessary anyway, depending on how long the meeting goes.
Yep. Thank you, Councillor Shine. Any other comments around the room? Councillor Carroll.
Mr Mayor, and because we have no items on our committee meeting, I also intend to leave for the Bishop's installation.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, I've been invited to that and I'm certainly going to go to it. Okay, I'll hand over now to our GM. Once we move to item 3, which is Regional Development Statistics Report, May 2023. Nicola.
Thank you very much, Chair, and I will take the report as noted. However, I will highlight a few aspects in terms of the increase on April numbers. So for May, we've seen increases across the number of development applications received, the number of development applications approved, the number of building applications approved, the number of new lots and sealed lots, the number of new dwellings and new units, and also the combined value of building approvals. So we've seen increases there on those April figures, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
So, Councillor Carl, you wish to come up here? I'm just filling in temporarily.
You're right.
Okay, thank you. Right, the GM has indicated what's the information that's available to you. Are there any comments or any questions around the table? Councillor McDonald.
Thanks, Chair. Thank you very much, Dr. Colin. You mentioned the increases and they're clear in the report. There was some commentary last ordinary meeting around challenges for the development industry, if you like, going through, and whether that's fiscal challenges or staffing challenges, whatever that may be. Is this an indicator that may be on the turn, or is this just really a backlog of applications that have hit the decks at this time, and what you've seen already for the current month, or month of June, has levelled a little bit, just to give us a bit of an indication as a lead indicator?
Thank you. I think I would just take it as, a month-on-month change. From our meetings with UDIA, we're not hearing that any of the pressure that developers are under has been removed or is decreasing in terms of whether it's material costs or the availability of trades, etc. So we're definitely not hearing that at this stage.
Councillor Shine.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. I'll direct my question to General Manager, if I might. Refer you to page 19 of Board Books, and the first 2 items there under the temporary incentive policy applications. Just wondering if you could give us a little bit more, or expand on what those 2 are about and the justification for the discount, which is quite significant in relation to those 2 matters, and bearing in mind, as it's often been said, how our infrastructure charges are lower than what our costs are in relation to provision of services. The first one is ends in 3491 at Harristown, extension to medium impact industry. It says what the use is, but I'm just wondering what type of development is going in there.
Thank you very much, Councillor. So both 3491 and 5168 have qualified for a discount under the Temporary Economic Development Incentive for non-residential development policy. For RAL, the charge becomes that of a residential lot, which you can see there on, which is 5168. And for an MCU, there's a 50% discount that applies. So the use is actually irrelevant as long as it's used for commercial, such as bulk goods, industrial or high impact industry. And I think that policy was approved back on the 23rd of June 2022.
Anything further, Councillor Shine?
I think it's something that we should revisit at some time to remind us why the justification for such, 50% reductions are justified for some industries but not for others, and what's the benefit. One can easily see in the current climate why a discount should be available for multiple dwellings because of the housing shortage, for example. But for commercial activities, I certainly would like to be reminded as to why we adopted that policy. I just can't recall off the top of my head.
Thank you, Councillor. I'm happy to provide some advice behind the scenes. So that's policy 2.80, temporary economic development incentive. So we'll look at how that came into being last year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the GM? No other questions? What are we doing here? No other questions in respect to development or anything of that nature? Other questions for the GM? If not, would someone like to move? Councillor Carl, you've moved this matter. The receipt. We do the receipt of this, do we? Yep. The receipt of this. You've moved it, Councillor Carl. Seconder, please, Councillor McMahon. Any comments? Those in favour? Well, councillors, that brings the meeting to a close. Thank you very much for your attendance, and we will meet again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Meeting closed. Sorry, the other
We just
committees,
move forward to the other committees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, good morning everybody and welcome to the Water and Waste Committee meeting for July. This meeting is open to the public and will also be live streamed. Thanks to everybody who's in the room and anybody who's watching on Council's social media channels. I acknowledge the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor, Portfolio Lead, Councillor Summerfield and all my council colleagues. So we open the meeting at 9:12 a.m. We've got an apology, a leave of absence for Councillor O'Hara-Sullivan. Can I have someone move that, please? Councillor Taylor and Councillor Shine as a second. All in favour? That's carried. There's no items on the agenda, so with that I close the meeting. 9:12 a.m. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Infrastructure Committee meeting, Toowoomba Regional Council for July 2023. The meeting's open to the public and will also be live streamed. I'd like to thank all of you in the room with us today and acknowledge the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor, councillors and our staff who are in the room and our observer in the gallery. Opening the meeting at, I'd say 9:14. We have a leave of absence, Councillor Megan O'Hara-Sullivan. I don't believe we have to move a motion for that. No, thank you. That's for noting. And as we have no items on the agenda, I'd like to close the committee. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That ends the committee meetings for Tuesday. Thank you.